What is up, Wise Take Nation? It's your boy Brewmatic47 here, riding solo this evening. Figure we would give Shockey the night off since he's done so much outstanding work this year. He also covered a show for me, so I will certainly cover a show for him at the end of this season, at least. This week we have the Tour Championship, not to be confused with the PGA Championship. On one screen, you have my dumb, ugly face. The other screen, you have my fantasy national model for this week, including my stats, and that's actually not right. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to go ahead and change that as I talk to you all. That was for the PGA Championship. So let me get into the Tour Championship at East Lake, which is what we have this week. So welcome, everyone. Make sure you give us a like, give us a subscription, and make sure you turn on notifications. My face is going to go in and out throughout this live stream, and I apologize for that. I'm having camera issues on my computer, which is why we're getting the delayed start tonight. So I'm kind of like 50-50 between my phone and my computer. My phone is also at, where are we at? 14% battery. So, yeah, we're going to see what happens with that. If my phone dies, I'll be able to switch to my computer, and hopefully you guys will be able to hear me. But luckily, we have a smaller week, a shorter event than normal, so hopefully it won't be an issue. So this week we have the Tour Championship. Again, not to be confused with the PGA Championship, even though this is the PGA Tour. It's a mess. It's confusing. I know. So the Tour Championship is the final event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Basically, every golfer plays this year awards FedEx Cup points, and the final top 30 make it to the Tour Championship with a shot at 15. That is a $1 and a $5 million going to first place. So yeah, pretty substantial event. Winner wins $15 million. So that's significant. And even last place, theoretically down here at the bottom, Mark Leishman, theoretically, he wins about $400,000 if he comes in last place. So, good weeks in store for everyone. We're not going to take too long here. Like I said, we have 30 golfers in this field. Maybe 29, since we have one guy, this guy right here, Rory McIlroy, with a big question mark as he's on Baby Watch 2020. So we're going to see what happens here. Again, for those of you who don't know, the layout this week is first in the FedEx Cup rankings, starts out at -10. And then second in the FedEx Cup rankings, starts at -8. And they work their way down. So as I pull up the exact rankings here, again, you're going to lose my face, but that's okay. I'll be back shortly. We have DJ, who is first in the the FedEx Cup rankings. He will start at -10. And then we have John Rahm starting at -8. And JT at -7, Webb at -6, and so on and so forth. Morikawa at -5, working their way down. Basically, what happened here was, in past years, they had two different leaderboards, which was very weird. They had a Tour Championship leaderboard, and then they had a FedEx Cup leaderboard. And often what happened was who won the Tour Championship wasn't the winner of the FedEx Cup. So, like, everyone was celebrating the winner of the Tour Championship, and then they had to, like, reset and award the FedEx Cup champion, which often was not the same person. Most recently shown by Tiger Woods and Justin Rose. You know, we all remember, I'm sure, if we're significant golf fans, we remember Tiger Woods coming back and winning the Tour Championship. And, you know, he won this event 2 years ago. And then Justin Rose actually finished higher in the FedEx Cup rankings than Tiger and finished high enough at this event to win the FedEx Cup overall. So it was very confusing because everyone was like freaking out about Tiger winning, understandably so. And then they were like, "Oh, but wait, so Justin Rose actually won this much bigger, technically much more significant event." So it's created a weird dynamic on the PGA Tour. So they finally just said, "Fuck it, we're gonna handicap this event. Whoever comes into this event in first place in the rankings gets a 10-stroke lead, starts out at -10, and second place starts at -8, and they go all the way down to even par." So it's not to say that, you know, whoever comes in first place in the rankings is guaranteed to win by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, yes, there's a 10-stroke lead between last and first, but one bad round and one good round can easily make up a substantial amount of ground between, you know, who's first and who's 10th, who's 15th, something along those lines. So they made it much simpler. Whoever wins this event wins the FedEx Cup and walks away with $15 million. So pretty significant. Everyone wants to get there. And we will see who does it this week. I have my takes, but yeah, we'll see what actually happens. Touching on last week, real quick. Wow. Holy shit. What an event. Just DJ and Rom going back and forth. Unbelievable. You know, DJ makes this incredible putt from like 44 yards out, or 44 feet rather out. That it was just unbelievable to watch. Like, I was at work and everyone I was with that watched it was blown away. And then not, you know, 20 minutes later, Rom makes an even more unbelievable putt from like 20 more feet away. Just unreal. You know, we were watching it, you know, at the firehouse the next morning, and they showed Rom's putt, but they didn't show DJ's on like normal news, and everyone was like, "Dude, show everyone DJ's putt." And I mean, everyone was just completely blown away. It was unbelievable. Those putts were just absurd. I was screaming. I just the video does not do them justice. Just an incredible week, incredible finish, and we saw actually like one of the hardest courses we've seen on tour since the restart, which was really kind of nice to see actually. You know, to have like 4 guys finish over par was kind of nice. You know, I'm sure we'll see that again at Winged Foot for the U.S. Open, but just like hard golf is sometimes really fun to watch after watching like -30 win. You know, like watching guys just grind it out and duel back and forth. It's kind of cool. It's kind of nice to watch. You know, to see Rom take a nice bounce out of the trees. Kind of makes me feel like it's me out there on my local course. You know, makes me feel a little bit better. You know, like, oh, okay, so, you know, anytime you see a professional golfer standing in the weeds, it's like, okay, they are like us. They're not superhuman. But then they drain like a 70-foot putt, and it's like, all right, no, they're much better than we are. So anyway, for this week, we're in Atlanta, Georgia, at East Lake Country Club for the Tour Championship. I will break down the course real quick if you guys can see my screen. So this is my course breakdown from last year. It's still applicable for this year with some subtle changes. Eastlake Golf Club is a 7350-yard par 70 with 4 par 3s and 2 par 5s. Par 5s here are the 2 easiest holes on the course if we go over here. And again, so for those of you wondering, those of you on YouTube not familiar with the Nation, this is not our product I'm showing you guys right now. This is, as you can see right here, Fantasy National Golf Club. They're amazing. They're the single greatest source for stats and model building out there for DFS golf. If you want to get serious about fantasy golf, you're going to have to sign up for Fantasy National. It's completely worth it. I understand that we have our own DFS product, but like what Fantasy National does just transcends everything. They're incredible. The depth that you can get into with their models and everything. So I don't have any, ill volition with touting their stuff because they are the best of the best. I wish there was a product like this for every sport, which there sort of is, but Fantasy National is like it for golf. So I'll show you here the breakdown of the par 3s and the par 4s. As we can see down here, the par 5s are the 2 easiest holes on the course, 17th and 18th in difficulty. They yield a shit ton of birdies, a decent amount of eagles, nothing overly concerning. And worst case, you make a par, whatever, good par rate. As we go over to the 3s, though, the 3s are on the tricky side. There's only one on the easier side, the easier half, and that's obviously the shorter par 3. The other 3 are over 200 yards. Again, decent par rate around 71, and then 64. An okay birdie rate around like 10%, 15%. But then anytime the bogey rate is higher than the birdie rate, you got to be a little bit concerned. So yeah, the par 3s here are tricky, but not overwhelmingly complicated. And then there's just a fuck ton of par 4s. If we break it down by yardage, we have two par 4s under 400 yards, and of course they're the easier of the par 4s. Go figure. But then we have the hardest hole on the course, obviously being what on most courses would be a par 5, the 14th hole, which is longer than 5 yards longer than the one par 5. So go figure that. Almost a 27% bogey or worse rate is really, really nasty for a par 4. We also have to take into account that here on Eastlake, 18th or 9th, the 9th hole here is technically the last hole on the course, right? So the 9th hole, it's actually the 18th hole if you play it as like you and I. But because they figured out that oh no, that kind of sucks. The PGA Tour doesn't really like that too much. They flip the 9s. So the back 9 on the normal course is actually the front 9. Because they want to finish it on this par 5 right here. Because it creates more drama and it's easier to watch. So let's get back into this. Right, so tee box, right? We have tight tree-lined fairways with a wealth of large fairway bunkers guarding the landing zones. The wealth of these holes have multiple bunkers in play, usually one right and one left, each of which are at different yardages. The furthest carries sit right around 310 to 320 yards out, meaning you have to blast off the tee to really not have them in play at all. Otherwise, you have to pick your spots, either left or right, depending on the hole. To hit along, you can either club down under 280 yards and leave yourself a longer approach shot without the worry of sand. So that's, another aspect of this course, right? You want to hit it accurately or short. With the weather, it's Atlanta in late summer, so hot, dry Atlanta heat. Second option might not even be that viable, as we could see a good amount of rollout and see balls wind up rolling into the bunkers. Driving distance is well above tour average, while driving accuracy here is below tour average. With this course requiring so much off the tee, we need to give an edge to hit fairways. With their approaches, we have a mixed bag of green sizes, where the larger greens have different tiers and lots of undulations. The smaller greens usually have one level and have a lot of slope from back to downwards. As a whole, the greens are right at tour average, and golfers need to put themselves in the short grass to give them the best chance at hitting them. There should be no shortage of missed greens here, as the greens and reg percentage is under tour average, and with the amount of slope they have, scrambling will be very difficult this week. This gives us a premium on greens and reg. You gotta hit these greens. Don't hit the greens, you are in a world of trouble. There's also a bunch of bunkers, and the greens are Bermuda grass, which were added in 2008 to withstand the Atlanta heat. Usually roll pretty fast, firm, and true. So for my model this week, you guys can pretty much see it all here. And again, this is not our product. I want to make that very clear. This is Fantasy National Golf Club. If you like golf, sign up with them. Honestly, it's so worth it. Just the breakdowns, the stats they provide, the models, everything. They are just light years ahead. I think they're the best product for any DFS sport out there, comparatively. Fan graphs, natural stat trick, anything like that. Like Fantasy National, I think blows them out of the water. So we'll get into these ranges real quick. Again, we only have 30 golfers, so I'm not going to go too deep. And the pricing is a little bit varied this week. Usually we have 12K at the top and then like 6K at the bottom. This week we have 15.2 and 5. So it's smaller fields. So they let you do a little bit more pricing, which is fine. This is also when you're going to see me. You're going to lose my face, which is fine. Shouldn't complain about it. Also this week, I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. Just because it's a little bit different of a week, so I think that we will that'll work a little bit better. We also don't have for DJ, who starts at -10, he doesn't automatically start with 10 birdies, right, which would be 30 points. He starts at -10, which is the first place scoring differential, but he doesn't start out with -10 being credited any amount of birdies. Just so you know. 5K Leishman, no thank you. He's been garbage. I'm not even remotely interested in Leishman at min price. Cam Smith, starting at even par. Again, there's 30 golfers here, and he's second to last in my model. He's played well. He's been grinding decently well, but he's had his tee to green struggles, so I'm going to be off Smith. Hughes, though, I like Hughes at 5,200. He had to get up and down last week on 18 to make it, and he did. So I think he's just so happy to be here that there's not really any worry. Like, he's under no pressure whatsoever. He wasn't supposed to make the top 30, and then he did. He's got a kid on the way, which is whatever, but he's been playing well recently, so I definitely have a little bit of love for Hughes at 5,200. I think he can play decently well here, and as we see in my model, everything's going to be green because, again, these guys are all the best of the best, and there's only 30 golfers in the field. But if he does get into trouble, we see that nice high sand safe numbers. So, and my battery's down at 10%. So we're gonna move along. Cam Champ, yeah, I'm not. Basically the way this kind of works is if you win an event and then play moderately well throughout the year, you make it into the playoffs. But I don't know. I mean, he hasn't done anything in the playoffs really, and what does he have to lose? he can just blast it off the tee. We see his off the tee numbers here are great. But then comparatively, his approach numbers second to worst. So I don't think I'm going to be on Champ this week. We'll go up to Palmer. I kind of like Palmer. I believe he's the oldest guy in this field. He's good tee to green. East Lake traditionally rewards good tee to green play. His approach numbers are awesome, which is super important. Short game's gotten a lot better too recently, so I don't hate Palmer. Nah, no thank you. East Lake, he has not done well at East Lake ever, so I'm gonna be off. Griffin, no thanks. He's played well lately, but I don't know. I mean, he grades out relatively well in the model, 17th for his price, as opposed to Palmer, who's 15th. He's been good on approach. He's super cheap. You can play him. I don't mind him. I don't see him contending with the big dogs come the end of the week. Horschel has been just a different guy lately. He's done very well here historically, so I definitely don't mind some Horschel this week at 5,700. Super cheap. Let's do what you want to do. Munoz, I think he's gonna be popular. Super good tee to green. He's kind of a sleeper this week, is what people are saying, even though he grades out as like 26th. It's his first time here, so we don't really have any course history to go off of, but he's played well in the playoff events and in significant fields. And I feel like guys like Horschel and Palmer are going to be popular down here. So, you might get a little ownership discount on Munoz. I don't hate him. Answer, my dude, Old Abe. He's been playing really well lately. As we can see by his numbers, he's super accurate off the tee. He's one of the only non-winners here in this field. He hasn't really done much lately, but he can always pop. He's a fringe play for me. I definitely like these couple 5K guys a little bit more than him. But you can certainly play him. Neiman, what a week he had last week. He really showed us some good tee to green play. His approach numbers are great. His ball striking numbers are great. He grades out really well. I mean, he's the highest in the model for these lower priced guys. I definitely don't mind some Neiman this week. Hovland, I have my worries about. He's one of the rookies, sort of. I mean, this time last year he was on the Corn Ferry Tour, trying to get to the PGA Tour level. I feel like he's kind of fallen off lately. He's taken a backseat to Morikawa. So I don't think I'm going to be on Hovland this week. He's starting off at even par. And he's kind of priced up compared to these other guys that are starting off at even par that grade out better than him. We're getting to Kisner. I'm always a Kisner mark. You guys know I love me some Kisner. Starting at -1 this week. He's played really well this year. Even on these longer courses like this one, he's played really well, and he grades out in the top 10 of my model at this price. So at 6,800, I love Kisner, and in 17 he finished T3, shot 3 under last year. So I definitely am on some Kisner this week. Where are we at? Hatton starting 2 under. Hasn't really played much this year compared to everyone else. I don't know. I don't know if I'm on Hatton this week. He grades out decently well, but for 3 spots higher in my model, I prefer Kisner, or for 1 spot worse, I prefer the cheaper Neiman. Im, Im's been weird this year. He's starting 4 under. This is his second year at Eastlake after only 2 years on tour. So, I mean, Im is a grinder. Im is going to earn points because he plays every single fucking week. But I think with this, Olympic narrative, relieving him of his military time, I think that's really hurt him and kind of gotten rid of some of his desire to play. So, and I love some Im. I just don't think I'm getting there this week. Todd was a stud in the swing season, which technically should be starting next week, but I guess technically it's not because there's majors. I don't know. But he did really well, T8 last week, super good putter, super good on par 5s. Doesn't grade out super well in the model, but I definitely like me some Todd this week. Scheffler, another rookie on the tour this year, playing really well. Looking over my other notes. Where's Scheffler? So he's starting at 2 under. Not a great spot to start, but I mean he should get Rookie of the Year unless Scheffler or unless Hovland comes out and dominates. I don't mind Scheffler. He grades out super well in my model. He's relatively cheap. So yeah, I definitely don't mind Scheffler. Yeah, I mean Finau, he got really good with his putter last week. I don't know. He finished 7th here last year. So, I mean, he's done well here. Everyone wants Finau to get a win, me included. So, I don't know if I can get there this week. I don't know if I can play some Finau. We'll go up to Reed. This just feels like a year where Reed will win it. I don't know. Call me crazy. But, 9th here last year, but he came in as 4 seed, so whatever. He's had some tee to green weaknesses, but that would just be the most 2020 thing in the world for Patrick Reed, everyone's least favorite golfer, to win it all. English has had a weird year, but here he is in the final 30, and good for him. I think he's another guy that it's like, well, I'm done. Like I locked up the next couple years of play, got some exemptions. He grades out super well in the model. So I definitely like English. He doesn't really, his game is just good overall. He doesn't really have any weaknesses. So good on him. Schauffele, Xander, we all know Xander in non-cut events, always in play. This week is no different. Grades out super well in the model. He can easily move up the leaderboard here. He's just been super solid all year long. Berger, the hot hand right now, right? I mean, Berger's been playing unreal. Definitely on Berger. He's the 6th seed this week, so I don't hate him. Grades out super well in the model. He's got the good ball striking game, got the accuracy game, the DK scoring, the off the tee. I mean, he checks every box. Hideki, I don't know if I'm going to be really on Hideki this week. T3 last week, okay, but with everyone else around him, he doesn't grade out super well in the model recently. Driving accuracy, greens and regulation, good drives, everything's kind of shitty. So I'm going to be off Hideki bot. Rory, I don't know if I can play Rory with the baby narrative. I have my concerns. He could just leave in the middle of the event. And he said he's going to. He said, I'm going to leave if, I get told that I'm about to become a dad. So that concerns me greatly. And I hope you all understand that. Where's my phone at? 7%. Okay, we're good. Morikawa, love. Oh, no, sorry. Skipped over Bryson. Yeah, Bryson off the tee is really good. Everything else has been eh. He's been good putting from close, been good at hitting greens. I don't hate Bryson at 10-1. he's starting at 4 under, so he has a shot. Like, he's one of those guys where if DJ has a bad day and he has a good day, he can easily catch him. But I don't know. I prefer the other guy above him a little bit more, Morikawa. I would love to see Morikawa walk away with this thing. You see him, he grades out super well. He's cheap. Everything about him has been lights out this year. There's been multiple comparisons made between him and Tiger, and I think he's the real deal. So, yeah, I'm on board with Morikawa. I think he can get it done this week. That's my call. I'm calling my shot. I think the rookie does it. Well, second year technically, but I think he does it. Webb, real quick, he took a week off and he only fell back by 1 stroke. So good for him. That was a well-calculated move. His game's super good right now. He's looking for another top 5. He's been churning and burning. I like Webb. I think he can do well here. JT, probably be my second pick to win. He's just dominated this course. He does super good here at East Lake. Starting at 7 under. Again, another guy who can easily gain ground if DJ has a bad week. So yeah, JT would be my second favorite, aside from Morikawa. Rahm, people talk about momentum, right? And Rahm has it after that incredible walk-off putt for the win last week. He's not the top seed. He's second seed, so Rahm's had a really good season, and I definitely like Rahm. He'd be third for me. Morikawa, JT, and then Rahm. And then I'll hit on DJ real quick. I'm off DJ. He's like 2,500 more than Rahm at the second seed, even though DJ is the first seed. And that 2-stroke lead can evaporate quickly. And basically, if you want to win a GPP this week, you got to get first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth right. So I'm gonna save some money this week by not going with DJ. I'm going to be completely off DJ regardless. And remember, this is a smaller field event, and a no-cut event. So do yourself a favor, get different, and don't spend all $50K. Do not spend your entire salary cap. Leave $500, $1,000, $1,500 on the table. I think you can easily this week and still do just fine. That's really all I got this week, everyone. That's my breakdown of the players. Feel free to hit me up in Slack. Hit me up on Twitter at BrewMedic47. Follow WiseTake at WiseTake. Hit me up, DM. My DMs are open. If you need anything, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here for you guys, even if you're not a part of the nation. Hit me up, and I will try to steer you in the right direction. 30-player week, no-cut event, last event of the season. We're going to make the most of it. And that's really going to do it for me, everyone. Hope you liked it. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscription, and check us out at wisetake.com. Pick up a day pass, pick up a month pass, or subscribe to us for life. We'd love to have you. Again, I am BrewMedic47. If you guys need anything, hit me up. And good luck this week. We'll see you in the future. We have some good events coming up. And take it easy, everyone. Have a good night. Peace.
Yeah.